Yassas. Welcome to Greek Like Me, the podcast for Greeks, Hellenophiles, and anybody else who wanders in. I'm your host, Pamela Diodes Wood. Email us at stealthgreek@gmail.com to share comments, questions, and stories about Greeks, Greekness, or your own ethnic shenanigans. Please excuse my lisping. I've had dental surgery. I cannot speak. I'm making no sense. I'm going to try. I've explained I don't speak Greek fluently, sad to say, but I have a half-decent vocabulary and crap grammar, and I'm always eager to learn. And I'm going to be going to Greece in April, so time to brush up. So we've brought in a guest for today's podcast. MaryAnne Kokidis is a public health care educator, an image consultant. She's an American-born Greek of immigrant parents. She's trilingual and an awesome friend who suffers through my crazies. And now it's time to speak Greek. So MaryAnne, hi.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us today.
Happy to be here.
It's easy to understand you, not so much me. We were talking about what are the useful Greek words that non-Greek speakers or second, third generation Greeks like me who don't have the whole vocabulary could use in restaurants or meeting people, impressing the in-laws, which Ed, my husband, tried to do when we were dating with hilarious results. So what do you think are some of the most, I think the most important Greek phrase of all is "then catalaveno," which is "I don't understand."
I like that.
It has helped me many times.
I like that. Then catalaveno. Or, I don't know, could you say I don't speak Greek well?
Then milo.
Yeah,
Then milo Elenika.
Polikala.
Polikala.
Excellent. Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Because my grammar is usually awful, so that's what I really need.
That was pretty
Milo, I speak. Then
Milo.
milo. Then milo, I speak. Then milo, I don't speak.
good. Yes.
Elenika is Greek.
Yeah,
Polikala.
very well.
Yeah.
Then Milo. Yeah, that was really
Sometimes I'll say echo ligo Elenika. I have
Oh.
little Greek, and then people look at me and go, "Yeah, you
Yeah.
do. You only have a little Greek."
right.
You
right.
sat-
so you'd
you
say
s-
Milo Liga, I think.
Milo liga. I speak
Yeah.
a little. Milo liga.
Yeah. My Greek, yeah.
That was your first language, Greek, wasn't it?
It was my first language because my parents only spoke Greek to me. And
Mm-hmm.
then when I was, I don't know, 4 years old, I played with the neighbors and they did not know what I was saying. They were like, "What is she saying?"
That must have been cute.
And that's when I learned to speak English, but I stopped speaking Greek like in first grade. And my parents would speak Greek to me, and then I would only answer them in English. So I feel like my vocabulary is at a first grade.
You understand it, though.
I understand
You
it.
understand it. But that's
And I could,
very common of children of immigrants, too.
Yeah.
That's why my mother would not. But she would not speak Greek to us. She was like, "We're in America now." Because she had a hard time. Her teachers were not happy about the fact that she came into school speaking only
Yeah,
Greek.
yeah.
That was very frowned upon. So
So there are a few things I know.
I get that. But you understand. So everybody be careful what you say in front of her.
That's right.
Be very careful. What are some other important, easy Greek words that people could use in a restaurant, at a Greek festival, if they happen to go to Greece? Because the one thing, Greeks will go bananas if you say anything
Yes, that's so
in
true.
Greek. They will just, which is true, I think, of most people. If you go to their country and you say something in their language, they're happy about it. And the Greeks will, oh.
So if you want to say hello, kalimera, but that's like during the day. If it's like evening, kalispera,
Kalispera, yeah.
right?
Yeah, because kalinichta is basically when you're saying good night,
Good
like
night.
goodbye, good night,
Yeah.
goodbye.
Yeah, that's true.
So kalimera. What about echete?
Right. So if you want to ask if someone has, I don't know, if you're going to a restaurant or a festival and you want to ask if they have, I don't know, what are we going to say? Lukumades?
Echete lukumades.
Mades.
But that's also a polite way to say it. Almost, but
Right.
it could be the plural you, echete.
Yeah. So instead of saying is to you, yeah, you say the plural echete. And I think people will be surprised, like, oh, you're a little bit in the know, even if it's just a few words that you know.
Oh, wow. I'm so impressed. Yeah.
Right?
That's a nice feeling.
Yeah. And if you're ordering food, it might be θέλουμε, we would like, instead of I want. Θέλω.
Θέλουμε.
Θέλουμε.
What about μπορώ έχω? Could I have? Or is that more like you hick while you're coming and talking to me like that? How rude.
I would say that though. No. Μπορούμε.
Μπορούμε.
Then I would do a plural again.
Yeah, the
I think to be
more
on the
polite.
safe side.
Yeah, instead of μπορώ, which is can I. Μπορούμε, can we, is just a more polite way of saying it.
μπορώ να έχω.
Oh, I'm going to go to Greece and be polite to people.
I know. μπορούμε να έχουμε. And if you want to say, I noticed this when I was in Greece a few years ago, and a family friend was asking, I don't know, we were in a gift shop and they were asking if they had, I don't know, these little icons we were looking for, and before she would say, έχετε, do you have, she would say mipos. And mipos is like maybe, possibly, would you have? So she would always say mipos έχετε. I'm like, that's cool.
Mipos, the word is familiar to me, but I didn't really know what it meant.
Yeah, mipos έχετε.
Oh.
And she would say that, regularly. So I'm like, all right. So is that a polite way?
Is the family friend from Greece? Or she went...
She was, I think, a distant cousin on my mother's side.
From Chios?
So her parents were from Chios, the island of Chios that my mother's from. And she was born here, I think in like Brooklyn or I don't know, Washington Heights in Manhattan, I don't know. She had a really strong New York accent. So she would go to Chios to visit during the summers, many summers, and she fell in love there.
Oh, poliorea.
It was a distant relative she fell in love with, and they were also a relative. But they got married, and she was living there. She's been living there now for, I don't know, 40, 50 years.
Well, so she's really a native speaker because she grew up summers going, which is what the families love it when you do that.
Yeah, but her but
the mipos, I mean, that's why I'm asking.
So I think she picked up on how she should say things.
The proper way of saying things.
Yeah, because she didn't go there. I think she was fluent, but she was, American.
Yeah.
So
which is never the same.
Oh, I know, but she picked up on some of the ways that people would
say things.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that. Mipos. I'm going to use that.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
I will go there.
Mipos έχετε. And έχετε moussaka, not moussaka.
No, not moussaka. Don't say moussaka, please. That's as bad as saying gyro. My mother learned very proper Greek. She spoke very proper Greek. And when she went to Greece, my sister went with her. And they all thought she was Greek. And I've had this situation where I've introduced her to other Greeks, and they all were like, where was she born? I'm like, Newark. And they're like, well, no, we're in Greece. It's like, no, Newark, New Jersey. That's where she was born.
Wow.
But
that's impressive.
In Greece, they were getting into all the museums for free because they thought my mother was Greek.
Oh, my God.
Which I was like, that's a very mom thing to do, because my mother would just like, the Duchess, she just kind of got away with everything. I would go up there and go, and they would have a homing to me, boop, 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 get out. Even if I was speaking perfect Greek, but she spoke so perfectly the polite Greek.
Impressive.
Yeah, that she just got into everywhere free until finally, I guess she must have said something in English to my sister that somebody who understood English overheard, and they caught her in one of the museums. They were like, you pay, lady.
Where was her family from?
My grandfather's family was from Karpenisi.
Yes.
And my yaya's family was from Kiparisia. It's Messenia, the area of Messenia, like the Peloponnesos.
Okay.
So they were...
All right, so I guess she learned a more proper...
Yeah, I don't know who, because my yaya was very well educated. She had a tutor, which was unusual at that age, in those years for women especially. But my grandfather was just a very proper, polite person, came from a very proper, polite family. They were more working class. He was a goat herd, the whole bit.
Wow.
So
That's interesting.
But that was the type of Greek that she learned, even though she had some really wacky, like, whoa, relatives over here. She spoke very proper Greek. But anyway.
But her Greek was very proper.
Yes, and so I would like to be polite because not that I want to get in free, but I don't think I will pay. I will just because I don't have that Duchess attitude my mother had. But I would just, love to have people like look at me and go, "Oh, you speak it. Oh,
nice.
so you're married to a Greek?" No, I don't look Greek, but I'm Greek. So yeah. Oof. All right, give me another useful.
Well, for me, where's the bathroom?
Okay. Yes. Oh yes. Yes. Okay, give that one to me because
So, like my grandmother would say "puinet meros,"
Meros.
and meros means place. But that's how she would refer to it, and even my mother. So, but I think it was an older generation thing,
Like a polite way of saying because you
Or
don't
just have
don't
heard-
mention that thing.
right? And when I went to Greece a few years back, and I said "puinet meros," they're like, "What?"
What place?
They're looking, what place? Where do you want to go?
You want lunch, honey?
I know, so
No, I want to pee. Sabarakalo.
I figured, okay, that's not working. So it would be "puinet baño" or "dualeta." I heard that. Yeah. So "puine."
I used to say because I did not know how to say this, which is the wrong way to say things. I don't know. Some words I picked up from people, and I'm not even sure. Probably cousins or aunts or uncles or whoever, and I remember things later. But I not paz.
But yeah,
I gotta go.
Yeah.
But
Pepe la paz?
not paz. And then they can point me in the right direction. But yes, I'd like to be more polite about it. So I think
Yeah,
puñeto baño is probably the way to go.
Yeah, don't say I have to go.
Puñeto baño. No, if I say I have to go, that will not be considered polite, even by modern day
Yeah,
casual
no.
Greeks are going to
No.
say, "Ew,
Yeah.
that's
What's
just
the matter
gross."
with
But I
you?
can say it to you because I have said it to you
Yes,
because I knew you knew what I was talking about.
I'm sure I have.
So yes, the many holes in my vocabulary, but puñeto baño is the way to ask, "Where's the bathroom?" Where's the bathroom politely?
And I guess if you're going to like a restaurant or I don't know. See, I'm picturing myself like, you're walking around as a tourist
Yeah.
and you're trying to find a bathroom. Or if you go to a restaurant, you want to know, like, do they have a bathroom for you? Ejete? Baño? Like, yeah.
Like, do you have a
Yeah.
do you have a bathroom? Ejete baño.
Yeah. Or like a little store. You might want to ask them.
Saparakalo, ejete baño. Premis na pa. Yeah.
Dora, a mesos. Yeah, right now.
Right this minute. Tora. Okay, that's, I talk to my dogs like that. I'm like, prepete. Just, we have to, which is, again, bad grammar on my part. I'm thinking also yes, no, and please, and thank you
Yeah.
are probably like the basic words that everybody
yes.
tries
Oh, okay.
to learn. And it can be a little confusing because
Yes.
yes in Greek is ne, which to a lot of people sounds like no or nah. Ne or malista,
Yes,
which is the more
right.
polite way of
That's a
saying
nice
it.
one.
Malista, yeah.
Yeah.
I like the sound of it even. But you'll hear it. Nah.
Yeah, ne or malista is a nice one.
Yeah. So if somebody comes up to you and goes, nah, they're not saying they're saying no. I mean, they're saying yes. I'm confused.
I know. If you hear the ne, yeah.
It means yes. It
Ne
means
or
yes.
malista. Ohi.
Or he is no.
Yeah, so please, parakalo.
Although I heard somebody
it's
recently say to me, don't say
What did they say?
parakalo.
Get up.
Oh, dang it. I wish I could remember. I think it was either Glossonauts or Greek Language Academy
Oh, it died.
that said, don't,
Okay, it died.
your phone died. Well, now we're out of luck.
Okay.
But they were saying something about don't say saparakalo. The Greeks don't say saparakalo. Parakalo. And I'm like, all the Greeks I know say parakalo. And a lot of them were born and raised in Greece and came here and
Do
go
you remember
back.
what they wanted you to say?
Gosh, I should have written it down. Maybe I should look at my phone. Maybe I put it in my notes. That thing over there. That. In the meantime, we can talk about other Greek words. I try to figure out what the heck happened with that.
Yeah, so you can say thank you, ευχαριστώ. Or I've heard people say the plural again, ευχαριστούμε.
Efkaristome, I usually, I'll say that
Like, we
to
thank you.
Douglas John, who is the editor and producer and whatever of this podcast and the photographer and everything else, and also my son. He's always doing things random. I'm always like, if Haristume, which is sometimes is just like, I kind of think of, I am not finding the substitute for. I am going to be asking people to email in, message
like
in, and say, no, you're not crazy, Treli. There is something else that people say instead of parakalo. That's what I was raised, parakalo.
Yeah.
If you didn't say parakalo, you'd get the kutala. Be polite. So am I crazy, or are they just punking me on these sites? Because there is one guy, I love him, Emmanuel Manolacos, has a TikTok. He's adorable. He's adorable. And he will say, oh, these are beautiful names for girls. And they'll all be swear words. Such and such means, the river stream. And vlaka means the sunlight. He cracks me up. But, he punks people. And I'm like, maybe these guys did the same thing to me. But what this does bring in mind for me, the mistakes that people make. Somewhere in my childhood, I heard this word and I thought it meant toy. And so I would say to the dogs, puine to fofuliso. To fofuliso. Thinking it meant toy. And then I happened to look it up.
That sounds like something bad.
It means knickers.
Oh, really?
Knickers. But
it's not as bad as what I thought.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness, my poor dogs are learning like bad words in Greek. But I would say fofuli to them. I was like, wait. So I looked it up, and in one place it said actual knickers, like knickerbockers, like the short pants that men used to wear. And in another place it just said knickers, which I think of the English saying knickers for your underwear. And I'm thinking, where in the world did I ever hear this word? The only thing I could think of is my grandmother's sister, who I adored she died when I was like 4 or 5 years old. But she didn't speak a word of English, and I would go over and she would, and so I picked up words that I would remember years later if I heard somebody say it. This one came out of, I don't know where it came from.
Interesting.
And I'm wondering if, with the way I would climb all over the walls, if she mentioned that she could see my
my
fofuli. I don't know.
Possible.
So don't tell your dogs you want their fofuli, because apparently it either means men's short pants or their underwear. I'm not even sure, but I'm sorry. That's an example of me pulling a Greek word out of a hat, thinking I know what it means, and then being rudely awakened from that dream. And okay, we're talking about parakalo, which we're going to try to find out. People are going to hopefully email us and message us and say, no, what, you crazy? Of course you say parakalo. Or you're going to tell me, now people say this instead because they're hip and everything else.
We're going to look at that too. Yeah.
And we talked about thank you, efcharistume, which is more polite, or also saying we thank you if it's like a group of people, you fed us, so efcharistume.
Yeah.
So thank you from all of us, or efcharistume, just being very polite, which is this is like a really cool path that we're taking, because I love being polite.
Yes, and I just looked up, I put in please, and it came up as the plural. Sas parakalume.
Sas parakalume.
Interesting.
Really? So we've been impolite and casual and slanging all these years?
I guess so.
Parakalo. Okay, Greeks. Okay, Greek-born peoples. Sa parakalo, or what?
Sas parakalume.
Or sas parakalume.
Yes.
Let us know who's right, because sometimes when you type things in, they lie to you, I think, but maybe not. I don't know. Okay.
And what about? All right. So how are you? It would be tiganis or posise. Really posise. Tiganis is really like, what are you doing?
What you doing? Yeah, because the kids would get confused because the dog would like grab something she shouldn't have, and I would go tiganis, and they'd say, "Why are you asking her how she is?" No, I'm asking her what she's doing.
Yeah.
But I was raised posise.
Or posisete. Yeah.
But
posisete.
which again is polite, but common common slang, vernacular, whatever, people do say tikanis when they say, I'm walking in church down the hallway and say, tikanis. Somebody's saying tikanis.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's very chummy. We're very chummy.
Yes.
That's a chummy way of saying it. I like it. People are chummy with me. That's nice. Hi.
It's true.
Hi, chummy Greek people. I like that.
That's right. It's warm and fuzzy.
It is. It's warm and fuzzy. But if you drop down into Greece and you approach people and you don't know them, maybe the polite approach is the best way to go. But if you're not Greek, even if you say tikanis, they will be, I
think so too.
Get a little warmth in the heart that, you're trying to speak Greek, you foreigner. Thank you. Thank you for the respect. Because I hate it when people are like, why aren't you speaking English? It's like, shut up. If you're not in Australia or England or America, just stop asking people that. That's just nonsense. Come on, give me a break.
There's nice to meet you. So I'm looking it up. So I say it. Χαίρομαι που σε γνώρισα. Okay. Χαίρομαι που σε γνώρισα. Nice to meet you.
Oh, I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah,
I'll never remember that. I'll never remember. I was taught actually by my Greek teacher, because I did briefly take Greek lessons and we became friends, and that was the end of that. Then we just talked all the time about nonsense in English because it was easier for me to understand her. It was harika, but that was short.
I like,
harika, which is very polite, but it was part of a phrase. But I just say harika because that's the only part I can remember.
I think that's a good one, and I think you say harika. I might be wrong, but if someone says to you like "nice to meet you," you'll say harika.
When I'm introduced to somebody, I will often say harika.
Yeah, I think that's definitely appropriate and so much easier.
Which I said in front of my Greek teacher, and she went, "Oh, Pamela, I'm so proud of you," which kind of like blew the whole thing because the people were like, "Okay," and then they were like, "Okay," but
that's a nice one. So harika is a good one.
Harika is a good one when you're meeting somebody. It's like a pleased to meet you kind of thing. That's not literally what it means, but it's like that's the essence
like joy,
of it.
Like it's happy.
Yes, I'm pleased to meet you kind of thing.
Yes.
So that's
like my pleasure. It's kind of like my pleasure.
Yeah, so whenever I've said it to people, they always look at me like, and I feel so good because that's how I want to make them feel when I'm meeting people. I want them to know I'm happy to meet them. And so that expresses it, and that's what people get out of it. So when you meet somebody in Greece or in a Greek restaurant or the festival or the in-laws, if you meet your future in-laws who are not happy with you because you're not Greek, so I'm sorry, you're already at a tremendous disadvantage. You go and you say harika, and they'll say, okay, there's hope. There is hope. There is hope for this person.
It's true.
Who should be happy to be involved with the Greek
That's
people.
Right. You should be lucky, yes.
You should be lucky. You should be so lucky. Yes.
And I also noticed that I think in Greece, instead of saying yasu, because yasu is hello.
Yeah, goodbye.
Goodbye.
How you doing? Yeah. I wish you good health.
Yes. People say yeah.
Just yeah. Oh, so it's like slangier. It's more slangy.
Yeah, they're like yeah.
But if they said yeah at me before you said this, although I think I might have seen it on one of these, because I'm going to list some of the ones that I watched because I love Greek TikTok and I love Greek Instagram. Yeah. If somebody came up to me and said yeah, I'd be like, what? What have I done? Yeah, to you too. Because you hear those the kids with rap all the time. Yeah, bitch. Yeah, they'd go yeah at me, and I'd be like, okay, all right, karate chop, and then I'd be in trouble because they were just being polite to me. So that's not good.
Yeah, if they had to say it with a smile on their face.
Yeah. They'd really be scaring me.
And something else, like I'm trying to think when people have answered the phone in Greece, I don't know if they say embros.
They say what?
Embros. They don't say hello.
Embros. I don't even know that word.
There was some like move ahead. No.
Come on, you just talk already. What does it mean? What does embros mean? I don't know that word.
I'll give you embros. Hold on. Embros kind of like move forward, like move it along. I think.
Proceed.
I think so.
Okay, I kind of like that.
But I think that's what they say. Embros.
Makes me think of the Queen of England. Embros. Proceed.
And then pame, right? Kind of like, okay. let's do it. Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's get started.
That's I use that word so often for so many things.
Yeah.
Pame, let's go. Let's go. That's like yasu or opa, which opa is another word that is overused in some ways. I mean, especially by non-Greek people, like opa, throw that plate. But if you threw a plate and said opa, the Greeks are probably just like, yeah, whatever. That's fine. But I had an uncle when I was a kid. You trip and fall on your face. Opa!
Opa, yep.
You would do a magic trick. Opa! So yeah, opa was...
Try to make a positive out of it.
Is it something that was maybe used a tremendous amount a little bit earlier and maybe not as much by younger Greeks now? I don't know. That I don't know because...
I don't know. Do we use it more here?
I think we use it a lot here,
Yeah.
although...
someone breaks something. Opa! Okay, now it's a party. Okay.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's sort of like party time, or it's like, whoa, look what you did, or oh, look what you did. So it is the word of many uses. Gus Constantelis, Constantly Gus, has a TikTok. He's on YouTube. He's hilarious. He's always putting on a blonde wig and pretending to be his mother with a kutala. He just did, I think, a video on that, so people might want to go to either YouTube or TikTok and check that out, where he says opa, and he does do opa, 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 opa. He's doing all the different variations of opa, and I thought that was a lot because it made me think so much of my uncle. It was like that was the word that came out of his mouth the most,
so funny.
Because we didn't understand Greek fluently, and he would speak to us, and we would answer him the way we were able to. But I think anyway, whoever fell on their face, he was going to just opa. That was just the word. So you could probably just use opa under many different circumstances.
And you'll be fine.
If the waiter trips on the way to make your food, yeah, he'll feel like he's right at home.
What about if someone says yes or no non-verbally with their body language?
Oh, body language.
It's hard one to do without the video.
It's hard to do on a podcast.
But if someone kind of raises their head and closes their eyes.
Yeah, but you also do a little bit of that.
And it's so faint, like they're almost doing nothing. But if you see anything that looks like that, it means no.
Back off. Just
no,
back off.
We don't have it. Oh, ehitem baño? Do you have a bathroom? And they go...
Forget it. They're not even interested that you want
It's
one.
a no. It's a no.
It's an absolute
So,
no. Yeah,
yeah.
I love that. I love the body line. The hands.
Yeah.
That's... Ed used to say to me, sit on your hands, but he's Cuban. He uses his hands a lot too, so it's crazy. Sure. And how much do you have to really be aware of using the wrong words or being misunderstood? I think Greeks are very understanding of that. I think they're so excited when people try to speak Greek that even if they're really muffing it up, they kind of... I don't know. I was telling you that story earlier about we were at Stamna in Little Falls, which sadly has closed. Stamna in Bloomfield is still there. Little Falls.
Yay.
I want to cry. Wonderful place.
I know, loved it.
And there was a Cypriot waiter, and he came to take our order, and Stella Popoulos was there with us, and we were doing our order, and I said I wanted the halloumi, and I look American. I don't look Greek. And I guess he was expecting me to say halloumi. I want the halloumi. And no, that we're making fun of you American people, but yes, we are. I am, and I get to because my father was a WASP, so I will make fun of you. So I said halloumi, and he said something. I was partly half listening. I always like freeze like deer in the headlights when somebody speaks to me in Greek because I'm like, oh no, my grammar is so bad. Don't speak Greek to me. I'll forget. I know what you're saying. I recognize the words, but I'm afraid. And I thought he said to me, the Kypreo, the Cypriot, and I'm still thinking the cheese because I was hungry, and so I said malista. And you and Stella both turned and looked at me and said, "You're Cypriot?" And I was like, "What?" And he had asked me if I was Cypriot, not if I wanted the Cypriot cheese. And I was like, no. And I'm like, no, Peloponnesos. I'm my family's from the Peloponnesos.
But he might be like, why are you like, why is it so bad? Like,
why am I so excited? Yes, he's probably like, what the hell's wrong with you? You think there's something wrong with me? And I was like, not. I was just so embarrassed that I thought he was talking about the cheese and he was talking about me and he was looking at me like, Americans. So that was hilarious. But my mother, when I was a kid, we had she had a first cousin, my uncle Thanasi, up near Boston. And we would go and we would stay for like a few days or a week. We'd go up regularly. And he was married to Tia Pepica, and her sister Marika was there, and they all lived in the house. And Tia Marika came out and announced she was going doots. How do you say shower?
Oh, yes. Yeah, it's like
Doots. At any rate, my mother.
It's almost like
My mother thought she was saying
like
douche.
My mother, that's like,
which
really,
is
that's like
in
the
Spanish.
word.
That is shower.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
I don't know who in the
Yeah.
early 1900s decided to call that thing that
Yes.
is a feminine hygiene product that word, but that word actually does mean shower. But
Douche. Yeah, that's what it is. Douche.
Doots.
Yeah.
But my mother thought she said she was going to go douche because she didn't know the word for shower. She had grown up in a house with a bathtub, and she had never heard the word.
Know. I always say baño,
Yeah,
baño.
to take a bath.
But it means a shower.
She never heard the word shower, but she had
That's so
she had
funny.
her plenty of commercials on TV about douches. So she got extremely embarrassed and turned red. And the other aunt was like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" I mean, she finally said, "Why is she telling me?" And they were like, "They did." It was like it took a while for them to understand what she was saying, and then much hilarity. And my mother was red in the face for the rest of the night. But I thought that was hilarious because my mother spoke Greek perfectly fluently and beautifully, but that was just one word.
Right.
I mean,
she didn't know.
as a native English speaker, and I read a lot, but you come across words that you just are not familiar with, and so I get that. But I just thought that was so hilarious that she was so mortified because my father was in the room and her brother-in-law was in the room and my brother was in there, and she just like, I'm gonna go. And my mother was just like, "Oh my God, how could she do that?"
Please stop.
And well, she was the aunt that taught us tis kataine tuto, which is basically what is this shit? I mean, so she had a reputation for occasionally, because my mother's family immediately they did not swear. Her father, and you never said did not say bad words at all.
And that's the opposite of my mother.
And a lot of my mother's cousins, but they were just very proper. Your mother cracked me up.
Gamoto, everything. She'd be in the refrigerator. Gamoto, where's the lemon?
Oh my
this.
God.
And I never knew what it meant. And then I learned, I don't know if I was
That's the F word,
teenager or 20s, it dawned on me that she was saying, can I say the word?
I guess, or just
the F word. She
the
was saying
F word.
the F word.
She was saying the F word
all the time, all day long, about like the littlest thing.
That is so
my
funny.
It's like cursing constantly.
My mother would not have known what she was saying.
Oh my God.
She would have had no clue what she was saying, but I learned that word from a priest. Not that the priest came up to me and said, "This is how you say this word," but that the priest said that word. And
Oh my gosh.
I don't remember who I asked. Maybe it was you. I don't know if it was you. I asked somebody. I said, "What is this word that the priest was yelling?" And then they told me, and I was like, "Well, that's the word the priest taught me." Lovely, lovely, wonderful.
Right.
Wonderful. I love this guy. Not our current priest. Don't worry, Father George. I'm not talking about you. I know a lot of priests. This lovely, lovely guy, and down to earth and everything.
Right.
Down to earth, like your mother's down to earth. And
yes.
unlike my mother.
But then I would say the F word in English, and she'd be like, F,
and you say
don't know
gamma,
any
gamma,
other
gamma
words?
all the time with a gamma.
I'm like, where do you think I got it from? I'm just doing the English version.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That is so funny. It's bad, but some words that are swear words in Greek are not considered so bad in English, because my mother would say certain things they weren't really bad, or her cousins would say these words and the aunt would not say anything. But my mother once said to the dog, who acted like a lunatic and then ate the entire batch of donuts my mother made, she told the dog to go to hell in Greek. And my aunt made her get down on her knees in front of the icon and pray for forgiveness. She made her go to the priest and do confession.
Wow.
And, we don't do like the rosary thing, like say 10 Hail Marys. She was like, go to the priest, do confession, tell him what you did. And my mother did because she scared the hell out of her. You don't say that, I guess, right? You don't say that too.
I guess. And my mother was more like, don't swear to God.
Yeah, that's a
Like,
very,
that's horrible.
that's the bad thing. You can say F and you can say
Yeah.
S and you can say all these things.
Or go to hell.
I mean,
don't say that.
some people will look down on you if you do say those things, but the worst thing is swearing relating to God or the devil. You don't do that. So don't go
Yeah,
to
that's
Greece and
right.
say go to hell or go
No,
to the devil.
don't
Don't
do
do
that.
that.
Bad.
It comes out of the American mouth and the British and the Australians. They all say it very easily. Not the Greeks. Don't do that. Don't do that. They won't like you. So
No,
don't
that
do
won't
that.
be nice.
My goodness.
Yeah. So what about, I don't know, if you're, I don't know, if you want baklava.
Yes. Don't say baklava. That sounds like the
Yes.
thing you pull over your face. You know, baklava.
Moussaka.
Moussaka.
And it's gyro, not gyro.
Gyro,
Do not go to
please.
Greece and say, I want a gyro.
They will deport you.
Yeah, they'll be so disgusted.
They'll deport you.
And they're delicious there. They put French fries in
Oh
them.
my
French fries on
God.
everything.
Greek street food.
And delicious, yeah, French fries.
I can't wait, I can't wait,
I'm
I
so
can't wait.
excited for you.
You know, Effie's in Montclair does. Effie's in Montclair, New Jersey, because we're in New Jersey. Does, I think she does, doesn't she? Douglas John. She does the gyro with the fries like Greece.
Oh.
They're good.
Tell Stephen.
Dang, go eat there, folks. This is not a sponsorship. She doesn't even. I don't think she knows. She knows who my son is. She doesn't know who I am. But
Oh,
have you had her gyros?
No.
They're very good. But call them gyros when you go in there.
Yeah.
There is a place, I don't know where it is, that makes gyros, and they spell it Yeeroh.
That's funny.
Gyro. Don't say gyro.
Yeah.
Don't say gyro.
That should not come out of anyone's mouth.
No. Do you know, my daughter Sandra and her boyfriend were in a restaurant owned by Greeks. It was a diner.
Of course.
And yes, of course, the New Jersey diners, it's all Greeks. And she ordered from the waiter. She wanted a gyro. The waiter was like a young American man, and he said, "We call them gyro." And the boss was right behind me, turned around and said, "No, we do not. We do not call them gyro." She's right. So the waiter got a lesson that day. In the past, I guess, the boss probably figured they're all going to say gyro anyway. I'm not going to argue with him, but he was not going to let him correct my daughter and say that she was pronouncing it
That's cute.
incorrectly.
That's very cute.
Oh my God. Also important for people who are maybe dating a Greek or whatever is segapo.
Oh,
Just-
sagapol.
Segapo. Did I mispronounce it?
No, you said it right.
Segapo is I love you.
Yes.
Segapo. And we tried to teach her that when we were dating, my husband, when we were dating. But he would always call. I had my own separate line I got when I was like 16 or whatever, and I was in my early 20s when we started dating. And he would call, and my sister would sometimes pick up my phone for me, and our voices sound very much alike. Or they used to, not anymore. I have a very gravelly voice now. And he said, Moussaka. Because he would mix up segapo, which is
And
I love you,
moussaka.
and moussaka, which is a lovely meal. But
That's cute.
and maybe somebody will know you love them if you offer them some, but it doesn't mean quite the same thing. And he would always say that. He would say, and he'd say, moussaka. And my sister would put the phone down and go, "It's for you. I think it's your boyfriend." Yeah, but that was funny. He tried a lot, and I made the mistake of teaching him how to say autokinito, automobile,
Oh, wow.
autokinito, and he really liked that. But you know, Ephthemios that goes to
Yeah,
church with us,
yeah.
Ed can't say Ephthemios, he says autokinito. For years, and I would keep saying, it's not autokinito, it's Ephthemios. It's not. But now, Ephthemios, God bless you, he's the sweetest man in the world. He answers to it.
Oh, my
Only if Ed says
cute.
it, autokinito. So don't call your friend Ephthemios autokinito. It's very confusing. Just say, would you the Greeks say caro at all? Because
you
there's a
know
lot of American
Yeah,
or
it's like a
English.
Greeklish.
Greeklish,
thing.
yeah,
Like,
caro. So
caro.
just say caro. Don't try to say autokinito.
Yeah, and I think there's, yeah,
You might say somebody's name by mistake.
yeah, that's
I'm
very funny.
Ephthemios. No, that's not the way you say car. Autokinito. So say caro. But there's
Oh, and I learned that how to say cell phone. Kinito.
kinito. Oh,
It moves like it's mobile. That's
Kinito.
kinito.
how else would you use the word kinito besides?
I don't know. Kinito it's like moving.
Like if you see somebody moving.
like
Avtos kinito.
is it kinetics? It comes from the
because
Greek
Greek
word,
word.
okay?
Kinetics comes from the
Kinetics.
Greek word meaning movement, of course.
Movement, and the cell phone moves.
Okay, so this makes many
It's a
sense
moving
to
phone.
me.
Tokinito.
Autokinito. Autokinito.
Kinito. There you go.
There you go. The car.
Automatic
Autokinito.
move. Oh, yes. Oh my god.
Oh my God, because it's an
I can't
automobile.
take it. I
There
can't
you
take
go. Oh, the roots of Greece. My mother always said every word. She was just like the man in the moon. Every
true.
word it comes from Greek.
It's not a lie.
And
Come on.
it's not a lie.
It
It's
isn't.
really true.
It's not an exaggeration.
That's crazy.
Seriously. Yes.
Kinito. So if
yeah.
you lose your kinito, you lose your cell phone. Kinito.
Yeah. Bonito kinito. I don't know how to say charger. I don't know how to say that, so we'll have to learn.
You just have to imitate putting a plug in a wall and hope somebody knows what you're saying. We'll have to look at that. I want people to email in stealthgreek@gmail.com and give their own suggestions, corrections,
if you know how to
ideas.
say.
We could do a Speak Greek too.
If I don't know, what about speaking like if you hear Greek people speaking English, there's certain,
Oh yeah,
like they can't say sh.
Yes, or ch.
Ch.
Sorry.
Cheese. I'm going to eat some cheese.
Cheese and go to church.
Sense.
I love church.
Can I tell you a story?
Tell me a story.
I think it's pretty funny.
I want to hear a story.
A friend of mine, when we were kids, told us a story about her aunt. Went out with my Greek friend, but her aunt was born here, and she went out with someone who was from Greece. So she was an adult dating, and I don't know, something came up, and she said, "Suit yourself." And he went, "Suit myself? Why do you want me to suit myself? What is this?" And he broke up and he left. He was dying.
Oh, he thought she wanted him to shoot himself. Suit myself.
She's like, "Why are you getting so mad?" And he was pissed. That was the end.
Oh my God, that was the end of the relationship. So don't
Suit
tell
myself.
Greek people to suit themselves because they'll think you want them to take a gun to their heads.
Yes.
I love that. That is so
Oh my God. And the J's, I think they have a hard time. Greeks have a hard time with J. And I learned this. They'll say, all right, we had a relative, his name was Jimmy, but the Greeks, Zimi. It was Zimi.
Zimi.
And it was my husband at the time. We were talking about, we would call him Zimmy. Like, that's how he knew him, because we would all like joke, 'cause my mother would call him Zimmy. And then we said, "Oh, Jimmy." We were talking, I don't know, we were talking, he wasn't there. We said, "Oh, Jimmy." He's like, "Who's Jimmy?" We're like, "Jimmy? What are you talking? Zimi?" He's like, "What? That's the same person?" I thought they were two different people that you're talking about.
I thought Zimi.
Zimmy and Jimmy were two different people. So
my God,
Zimmy. So J's, Greeks may have
J's
a
are
hard time
another
with
one. Yeah.
the J's. The Z's. That was pretty funny.
I still love this CH. That's such. I can't even say it correctly. Such.
Yeah.
But yeah, there can be a lot
Sheets
of
and shit.
it's sheets. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm going to
take
change the sheets. Yes. Yeah, there were many times my father would look sideways at my mother's relative. He learned bira, so you want beer, say bira, and karpuzi,
Carpuzi.
which is watermelon, because that's all he cared about. He'd walk into a relative's house, say, "Hiya, bira karpuzi," and they'd all go, "Ah, and he'd get his bira, he'd get his karpuzi, and then he would just tune
He's
out
happy.
for the whole rest of the time. He's like, "I don't know what these people are talking about." And he really didn't care. That's all. So if you like beer, bira. If you like watermelon, karpuzi. And Greeks are always with the karpuzi.
Carpuzi. They do, yeah.
Greeks eat a
do
lot of
love
karpuzi. Always,
It's true.
Always with the
Let's
karpuzi.
see if is there another word for bira?
Bira. I don't know. That's all I only know. Is there?
Right,
Maybe
because
there
that's how
is.
I know it.
So maybe that's just the Gringlish.
Yeah, I know. Let's see. Let's check it. Let's fact check it. Nope. Comes up as bira.
Bira. See?
There you go.
Bira.
Very good.
This was fun.
I love it.
Would you do it again if people call in with suggestions and we think of other stories to tell?
Of course.
And we could make fun of more Greek people because we love making fun of Greek people because we're Greek people.
That's right.
So
we love them.
We love them very much. We love them.
We love ourselves. We love them.
We love ourselves. We love them. Greeks love Greeks.
That's right.
I'm so happy you came to do this with me because you're one of my absolute favorite people and one of my absolute favorite Greeks.
Me too. I feel the same way.
Segapo. Is that inappropriate to say to a friend, or should I just be saying that to my husband? Segapo?
No, I think you can say it to friends.
Okay.
I think so.
Because agape is agape. Let me tell you, it's love. But I just want to make sure. I didn't want to go up to somebody and say, what is wrong with you? Back off. Back off, woman. But yes, I love you dearly, and you're wonderful. And this was fun, and people...
Yeah, I'm curious to see what people
say
and
I'm
their
so
ideas. I know their ideas and
their comments, and give us more words. We'll do Speak Greek too. I think that'll be a lot of fun. If people like and share and subscribe, then that means we can keep doing what we're doing and we can keep getting better at it because we're learning as we go. This is a whole totally new thing for me. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm having fun and I want to keep doing it. So. Some of the best known resources for learning Greek are Rosetta Stone, Lingua Boost, and Duolingua. But my favorites are Greek Language Academy and Glossonauts, which are both on TikTok and Insta. And you can catch Easy Greek on both their podcasts and on YouTube and listen to Spoken Greek and pick it up that way. Greek Like Me is a Stealth Greek production, hosted by me, Pamela Diotis Wood, with special guest MaryAnne Kokidis. Our producer, photographer, and post-production editor is Douglas John. Visit our website, stealthgreek.com, for resources, links, and photos. Contact us at stealthgreek@gmail.com. See you next time. Yassas!